catches everything.
That's a good one. All right, boys. Can we hear each other clear as crystal here? All right, great. So wrestling match here. Seneca Bobcats here in Boyd Baker Gymnasium taking on Flowing Wells right now. Jason Miller, along with Ethan Schaup and Dominic Johnson on your broadcast here tonight. Boys, feel free to chime in. What are we seeing here? Who's wrestling? Is that Tyler Allison out there?
I believe so, yes.
At 113, and he's spelling you today here. Ethan, are you injured?
Yeah, my back here it's hurting pretty bad, so.
Okay. All right. I'm looking for a score here.
It's 2-0.
Yeah, 2-0 red.
All right, perfect. So you guys go away here and tell us what we're seeing here. Tyler Allison, a freshman, talented kid, obviously for a freshman to be in the varsity team. Does he prefer to be on his feet, or does he want to be able to take his guy down here?
Yeah, he's trying to take his guy down here, and if he does, if he takes him down here, that's when he'll tie up the score.
All right, so I'm assuming Flowing Wells is red for the team here.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So right now, Tyler's just needing a takedown here to tie it up 2-2. He's got the shot in. Flowing Wells here just sprawling out, really pushing the head down. Good work in here. Throwing them legs back. Good pressure, but Tyler slowly climbing up. Looks like Flowing Wells got that cradle locked in.
Looks like Flowing Wells is about to take him to his back.
So there's something wrong with Dominic's mic right now. We're just trying to fix this right here. Looks like Tyler on his back. Flowing Wells got that cradle locked up pretty tight. Flows out, tries to belly out, but he scoops that head for that half. A lot of pressure here, good tight move. Not much Tyler can do, stacking up those back points. Looks like Tyler finally getting to his belly here. Getting out of that cradle, good here. Looks like Red's gonna get that 3 back points. That's gonna put the score to 7-0 for Flowing Wells. Oh, Flowing Wells, yeah, half Nelson. Looks like that's the end of the first period. No back points there. Again, fixing a little issue here with Dom's mic, but he'll be here shortly.
And if we can't get that resolved, then I'm going to give you my microphone, Dom. So I want to hear more you. And then, boys, tell me, I can't see a clock anywhere here, so we're not running a clock here on one of the scoreboards?
Yeah. They don't have the time out, but yeah, they have a time, so
I can't hear anything.
Try and talk in it.
Check 1 2.
There you go.
Can you hear yourself?
No.
Oh, we can hear you.
Yeah.
So we just need to bring his headset mic up here. But your mic is working, so we can totally hear you, Dom.
You are loud and clear.
Can you hear now?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Very cool.
Very good.
Thank you. All right, score here is 10-1 for Flowing Wells. Looks like it's the third period.
And you guys can correct me here, but it seemed like Tyler was under a tremendous amount of stress there, especially at the end of the first period.
Yeah.
And just a lot for him to survive, to keep off of one shoulder there to avoid the pin.
I mean, of course, it's always good out there to just be able to stay off your back, and that pin, I mean, giving the other team 16 points is a big difference between 3. I mean, it could change the difference between, you know, Flowing Wells taking the match overall as a team and over Cienega, so good job by Tyler there. Looks like he's going to take a shot.
Tyler took a nice single leg shot, but we'll see if he's able to finish.
Here, just keeping that tight. Keeping those hands on those legs. Right there, just should have been able to circle, but looks like Flowing Wells is just going to overpower him there and just be able to get behind another two.
So if Flowing Wells gets 2 back points here, then and he takes him back, that'll be the match. Looks like.
The score here should actually be 13-1. I don't know if that's an error. Forgot to give Green that 1 point, but did get out once. So it is now, looks like to be 15-1. And that is the end of the match. That'll be Flowing Wells 15-1 final score.
Is that a technical fall?
No, it would not be yet because that would have to be a 16-1. So no tech fall for Flowing Wells. That is one less team point for the major. They get the major, so that'll be looks like 14 points for Flowing Wells.
And it looks like Flowing Wells, the Caballeros have, I think, 7 wrestlers here. So a smaller, maybe a little bit slightly smaller squad. Were you surprised with the outcome of that first match?
Not really. I mean, not to go one side or anything, but Tyler is a freshman. So Tyler is a freshman, and
Right.
he's filling in for me. Thank you very much. But he is also new. He's learning. He's still learning. He's got a lot of improvement since the beginning of the season. And again, thank you so much for filling in for me. But he's just doing really good. I've seen him in the room, working hard always, and being able to go out there and just stop that pin, or just giving away those 6 points like it's nothing for the what would you call it, a bye, if there was no one out there wrestling, it'd be 16 points. So
And now Tyler Worth here appears to be filling in for Cole Hickey, who is out with a concussion this week.
Okay, so Ethan, what's your injury?
I just have lower back pains really bad.
Okay, and then Dom?
My kneecap popped out of place.
I heard that actually. I think Tyler told me that earlier today. 6th period.
Yeah.
6th period English class, freshman English. So I wonder, Tyler, as a freshman, right, I would imagine physically continuing to develop, right? So we can expect improvement for him next year as a sophomore, as a junior, as a senior, hopefully progressing and then becoming more just stronger physically here.
I mean, that is a key thing with our freshmen. I mean, it's always good, it's hard to expect a freshman to come in and know everything, come in strong, but just being able to improve and just look for those forward, those years coming up, and just being able to always improve, keeping positive, and just, next year, new things can happen. He could just become great, and that's awesome, That would be awesome to see.
Unfortunate there for Tyler Worth, he had his man in a difficult position and just outside there, outside the mat there.
It's good though, being able to run someone out of bounds shows aggression. Tyler's out here to fight hard and show what he's got, which is good.
Ethan, are you a junior?
I am a sophomore.
A sophomore, okay.
Tyler here looks like he's going for that tilt again. Appears to be getting back points.
Stacking up these back points, I mean, being able to stay aggressive again and just run his opponent over, which is good.
Appears he's leading 8-1 in the first period. And now looking for the fall.
What move is that? He's got a wrist. Just looks like a chicken wing half, maybe. Oh, a double chicken wing almost. Another 3 for Tyler here. Looks like a short time in the period, first period. And that is time. End of the first period here. Tyler just putting pressure on him constantly. Top, not letting him get up. And just the start of the second period, it's going to be 11-1 for the score. Looks like red chose a neutral.
And Flowing Wells is red, is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
It Looks like Tyler just threw him to his back, looking for the fall.
Looks like here with that takedown, it'll be 13-1. Looks like Tyler see if he can get these pin for the team points, but looks like he's got it tight. Throwing that arm back, throwing that chin in. Good, sinking his hips back, just looking for that pin. Still looking for it. Knowing here that if bottom guy, gets back on his belly, that'll be 3 back points and get the tech fall, which is always good. But just 1 less team point, which could always be the difference. Tyler still looking for that pin.
What does Tyler need to do to get that left shoulder down on the mat here? Because he had the right one very close. And now it's reversed. He's got the left shoulder pinned down and very close to putting pressure on the Flowing Wells right shoulder.
He just needs to keep readjusting his grip, making it stronger, making it tighter.
So it looks like he's looking for that Saturday night ride, maybe midnight ride, whatever you'd like to call it. But looks like he's got the pin.
There it is. So scoring, I'm a neophyte here with wrestling. So how many points does a wrestler get for a pin?
Since he did get the pin, that would be 16 points.
16 points. And then in the first match, it was the Flowing Wells wrestler. And what's the term that was used there for that match, the way that one ended?
It was a tech fall.
A technical fall.
That means when you get 15 or more points on your opponent, then they just stop the match and it's 5 team points.
Okay.
In that situation, though, the last match it was, or not the last match before, it was 15-1. So not a tech fall, but that would be a major.
Okay. And how many points does a team get for a major?
Major would be 4 team points.
4.
4.
6 for a pin, 4 for a major.
5 for tech fall.
5 for a tech fall. Okay.
This is 126. So Logan Mitchell.
Oh, that was fast.
First period pin.
So Logan Mitchell, one of the seniors.
Yes.
And I did say here, boys, it's senior night. So here on December 12th, we'll be honoring all these seniors here during the intermission between the Skinniga Bobcats Flowing Wells match and the Bobcats match against Ironwood Ridge. And I'm looking forward to that match. I know Ironwood Ridge has a very strong program. So Logan Mitchell at 126 with a very quick pin. How many seconds was that?
Within a minute.
My goodness.
Very.
Seconds, I think.
Probably under 30 seconds.
Yes.
I would say that.
And coming up here now is Bobby Tays. He's another senior. Took second last year, the state finals.
State finals. D2 this last couple months ago here, Freak Show, super big tournament. It would be almost considered a open nationals, and Bobby did take that first place at 2018, I believe, Freak Show. So coming here to show what he's got. Senior last year. All these seniors really, I heard, just show what they got.
The tournament was called Freak Show?
Yes.
Okay.
As you can see here, Bob's a little freak, a little freaky on his feet, so really strong, just crazy technique, but good, super strong, amazing wrestler.
You can see it here. He's going through a series of moves. Put his man in a precarious situation here.
Looks like he's getting those. Just some.
Looks like he has a half Nelson.
Super tight there for Bobby.
2 seniors in a row with pins, first period, both.
Like I said, seniors here to show what they got. Next out, 138.
It appears to be Jason Hill.
Wrestling against 138 from Flowing Wells.
And you guys can clarify here, why is it so warm in this? Why is it so warm in this gym? Why is it so warm? I know it's deliberate. I know we could put the AC on in here.
Oh yeah.
It's much cooler for basketball. Why is it so warm?
Actually, don't really know. Sometimes it's hot in here. It seems that maybe they've kicked the heater on or something. But it's always good to keep yourself warm. I mean, basketball players, you know, they're constantly moving. Not to say wrestlers are, but you know, it's whatever. I mean, if it's warm, it's warm, and it keeps our wrestlers warm, which is good. As you can see, Jason.
Jason Hill with another quick pin here. So Logan Mitchell, Bobby Tellez, Jason Hill, back-to-back-to-back pins. Tyler Worth, was
Got
this
the
a pin
pin
as
as
well?
well.
So 4 straight pins. And the cat's up here big on the scoreboard. I'm not great at math here on my head. So 6 points for a pin, so 24. Is it 24 to
Carlo Casanero
5?
had a forfeit, so that's another 6 points.
So 30 to 5. Is that right? Because the wrestler at 113 had a major
Yes.
decision.
And we also have the 106. Flowing Wells.
106 was a forfeiture at that weight.
Yeah.
They didn't have a wrestler at
Yeah.
106. Okay, that makes sense. Very good.
36-5 right now for team points.
And another senior, Peter Harrington, coming up at 152.
And I know Peter. I'm looking forward to watching him wrestle. I also know Jacob Least, who's coming up here later on at 220. So a couple of seniors.
Peter, his weight's kind of been on, I don't know, some issues with that. I mean, some AIA rules saying he wasn't allowed to cut the weight yet. But I mean, first
Comes
time
out there.
coming on, looking
Quick
pretty
takedown.
strong.
Yeah, and Peter looks physically stronger than the kid he's wrestling right now.
It's good. Some nice returns here from Peter.
And sinks that deep half, taking him to his back.
Looks like he's got it good. Just needs to be able to lift that head, which he did.
5 straight pins.
5.
Oh, that wasn't a pin? Were they
No,
off the mat?
that was a
wasn't-
pin.
that wasn't
Okay,
it.
sorry.
Another senior.
Peter Harrington. And before that, it was a suplex, right? Is that the technical name for that move?
Mat return.
Mat return. That was
Mat return?
that was more of a mat return. Suplex would
Mat
be
return.
probably more of a shoulder. It was kind of both though. I think that was more of a way of a message to his opponent, just telling him, "Hey, I'm here."
Oh, a physical message.
Yes,
It's gonna be.
yes.
This is not gonna be a picnic for you.
And then it looked like Gabe Levy at 160 had a forfeit, and
Timmy
Timmy Morris, who's filling in for me, had a forfeit.
At 170. So Gabe Levy at 160. Timmy Morris at 170. Timmy's a freshman.
Yes.
Danny Mendez at 182. A senior here, hopefully wrestling. And he will be taking on a cab here at 182. Danny Mendez. What can we expect from Danny here in this match?
He's really good, really strong, technical, has a good blast double, and he's really strong for his weight class, so you'll see him overpowering, outmuscling a lot of his opponents.
I mean, it's amazing watching this guy wrestle. I honestly,
Took him
Mike.
straight to feet to back there.
that's good. 2 points from Danny. Good takedown. Personally, I love watching Danny wrestle. He's got that half in now. Just Danny's super strong. Comes out here and wrestles hard. He doesn't have the experience a lot of us do, but I would say that he's catching up quick, and he's just super dominant on the mat. I love watching him wrestle. And right here, he's just got a super tight half, just squeezing it nice and tight, and just looking for the pin.
There it is.
Another first period pin.
So 6 straight matches that were wrestled here, all ending in pins for Bobcat wrestlers.
Was that the fourth senior that had come out? All first round pins.
Danny Mendez. My score's off here because I'm missing a couple of forfeitures, and it's 6 points for a forfeit, right? So is it 48-5 Cienega in this match here?
And then another forfeit here at 195, Anthony Contreras.
Oh, and Jacob Least at 220 gets a forfeit. So a sheepish grin from him. has his arms raised, and then Seth Least, the brother of Jacob,
Yes.
the younger brother of
Yes.
Jacob,
Yes.
because Jacob's a senior. So, what year is Seth in?
Seth is a sophomore.
Okay. All right. So Seth was last, but not least. He's always going to be a least. And his brother. So I'm looking forward to watching those boys. I know they're going to be wrestling at Ironwood Ridge. I'm sure Ridge is going to have a full lineup here in the next match. And we're going to do senior night festivities here coming up in just a couple of minutes. So be sure to stay tuned for that. But I want to thank you boys. And we're not finished by any stretch here. I'm looking very much so toward the Ironwood Ridge match. So Ethan Schaup at 113, unable to go today because of the back. But I'm glad that you, in a way, I'm glad. I mean, I want you to recover and be fully recovered and hopefully have no pain. But I'm glad you're here. You did a great job on commentary here for us on Bobcat TV.
Thank you.
And then Dom Johnson. So, Dominic, you did a great job as well.
Thank
I've
you.
heard you speak more here in this wrestling match than I've heard you speak in the classroom last year in junior English, which is okay. Like, it's totally fine. We're not all extroverted, but you guys did a magnificent job here with your commentary. So, tell me about Ironwood Ridge. We can kind of preview it here for a quick minute or so before we go into senior night festivities. But what are we expecting from Ridge? I know they are a dominant program here in southern Arizona, a formidable team, kind of like a mirror image of Cienega across the board when we look at sports and football and wrestling, basketball, softball, baseball. These teams are very competitive across the board. I would say the populations of these schools are very similar, academically very similar, campuses very similar. What are we expecting from Ridge tonight?
It will be a good match. You know, they have a lot of returning state placers, but we do as well. And I don't know, it's going to be close, but I think we'll come out on top. We're having a lot missing out of the lineup, but a couple of our starters. But
right, missing you, missing Ethan right here, the two of you guys. So you've got second stringers or second liners coming in here and wrestling and doing their best here today.
And Cole Hickey, who's another out of all three of us state placers last year, he's out with a concussion. So
You know, just looking at Ironwood Ridge, I mean, again, you were saying so many similarities between us and them. I mean, both programs really good. They've always had a lot of strong kids, even last year, before we even knew, anything about state or, just being able to wrestle them was tough. Looking at them as a strong opponent, always looking to grow when we wrestle them. But as Dom said here as well, I think we'll come on top here.
I have to say, I see David Milkomov. I don't know if you guys intertwined paths with him.
yeah.
Dom, you probably because you're a senior. So David was a great wrestler at heavyweight, or was he at 220?
195.
Oh, 195. But a great wrestler here. And I think Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was his first sport.
Yeah.
I think he's like
He's a couple times state champ for that.
on extreme level. Probably a black belt. I don't know if that's the highest level in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. In 5 minutes? You want to go in 5 minutes? We can do it in 5 minutes. I don't know. Ask him and let me know. So there's Whitney Holland, the athletic director here at Cienega, asking me like when we're going to get these senior night festivities underway. So sorry about that. Just trying to coordinate things here. But David, a great wrestler. He's got the full mustache here now. Like he's in full mustache mode. So we might bring him on the mic too, and I might have the three of you guys commentating at different points here for the Ironwood Ridge match coming up after the senior festivities. So stand by. But you guys were terrific. So, boy, without you guys, I'd be totally lost. I'd just be jib-jabbing, not having any idea about the scoring or the moves or the technical language, the jargon that you guys are using here for wrestling. Tell me about Chris Patterson. How has he been as a coach for you guys here in leading this program?
It was kind of a different adjustment coming from Coach Niblo to Patterson, but so far it's been nothing but good. Different coaching styles, but it's good for the program.
For me, I came in just last year, and last year was, I believe, Coach Pat's first year.
Yeah.
So, I haven't had any other, view. I mean, Coach Niblo's always been there for me. He's helped me out with, many things, including my back last year. But, him on the side, I don't get to see him as much. I don't know really how it is when Coach Niblo is, in the room, head coach. But with my experience with Coach Pat has been amazing. I do love Coach Pat. He's really good. He treats us well. He's a nice guy. And, Dom's dad, Royce Johnson, he's a assistant coach. But, both of them are like, good cop, bad cop in the room.
Which I think is good. I can see that dynamic working.
Yeah, they're really amazing. I love Coach Pat, Coach Johnson, Royce. They're all amazing coaches. I could not ask for anything better.
And I want to say, too, that it's my pleasure, and I'm very thankful to Josh Kramer and Bobcat TV for broadcasting this match here this afternoon, because you guys, I think, pound for pound, pun intended, but I think you guys put in more work than any other sports team, any other athletes across the campus in every sport. And you guys get very little recognition, and it's unfortunate, but we want to encourage people to come out and support our wrestlers. So it's a pleasure of ours and a privilege to broadcast this and archive it and have it on demand so that you and your family can watch it later on. And you guys can critique yourselves. I'm giving you an A+ right now for your commentary. So I have pretty high standards. You guys have just been dynamite here. So I'm very grateful for you guys being willing to do this. So Dom Johnson and Ethan Schaup here, the color commentators. I'm Jason Miller. It's Bobcat TV. We've got senior night festivities, and then the big match here, the main event, Ironwood Ridge, the Night Hawks from Ironwood Ridge taking on the Seneca Bobcats, and that's coming up here, I don't know, in 15 minutes or so. It's coming up very soon. Senior night festivities before that, maybe in about 5 minutes. So stay tuned. We'll take a break. We'll keep the cameras running here, this broadcast running. But we'll be back for the senior night festivities, and then Ironwood Ridge, the main event here, taking on the Seneca Bobcats from Boyd Baker Gymnasium on the campus of Seneca High School. Sweet. So don't disappear. It's nice to meet you. Jason Miller. Oh, you heard that. So it's good to meet you. It's good to see you. So thank you. Good.
So I told Robert, you're my mother's purse. Was that good? I said, no, not necessarily. No. Yeah. I just kept
Seamus? And then all of a sudden, your dad's money was on the road. Another 3 weeks.
We're going to cut it open so that tighter opens up.
No, I back on Facebook there Wednesday.
One, two, one, two. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Varsity Gymnasium at City High School. At this time, we would like to take the time to honor our seniors of their and dedication to the Bobcat Wrestling program. Your peers, coaches, and parents are very proud of you. The dedication, discipline, and pride that you put into this program and this sport will carry on with you for the rest of your lives. Parent, we ask that you please line up on the blue line and please do not step foot on the mat. Your wrestler.
Major confusion. Just sit here then. Do it. I dare you. I bet you. Okay. Freaking nerd. Hi.
I don't even know if this is getting
There's people walking through here all the time, so.
Come on, parents.
So parents, please make your way down. Coach Patterson will guide you as the way he wants to be
He has it so loose right here. It has 11 minutes of battery.
And then please do not step foot on the mat.
Good thing each match is like 0.2 seconds. What are they doing? Excuse me. Oh, we're honoring people. I should not be so close.
Without further ado, seniors on senior night. Logan Mitchell at 126 pounds. Logan's plans post-graduation are to enlist in the United States Marine Corps. Logan is joined by his dad and his stepmom, Carl and Bree Mitchell, and his mom, Misha Mitchell. Logan Mitchell at 126 pounds.
I can't fix this in time. Low.
Our next wrestler is Bobby Tellez at 132 pounds. Bobby has aspirations of wrestling in college, and he is joined by his parents, Cindy and Johnny Tellez. At 152 pounds, Bobby Tellez. Peter Harrington at 152 pounds. Peter's ambition is to join the United States Air Force after graduation. And Peter is joined by his stepfather, Andy Wagner. At 152 pounds, Peter Harrington. Dominic Johnson at 170 pounds. Dominic's aspirations include wrestling in college, and Dominic is joined by his father, Royce Johnson. At 170 pounds, Dominic Johnson. Danny Mendez at 182 pounds. Danny is joining the Navy with aspirations of becoming a Navy SEAL. And Danny is joined by his dad, Willie, and his mom, Hannah. At 182 pounds, Danny Mendez. And our last senior tax at 220 pounds, it's Jacob Lease. Jacob will be joining the military and wants to study forensics and police science. Jacob is joined by his dad Joshua and his mother Casey at 220 pounds, Jacob Least. Ladies and gentlemen, your seniors of the graduating class of 2019, here are your senior Bobcats. Congratulations, seniors. Here's Coach Chris Patterson.
Parents, thank you very much. Bobcat fans, thank you very much for coming out tonight. What a wonderful group of seniors we have. We have a really thriving youth program, and I could not ask for better senior leadership to show what it means to be a Bobcat wrestler, both on the mat and in the room. They take care of the young guys on campus. They take care of the young guys at our tournaments. They take care of our young guys in the room. I told these guys already how much I appreciate their hard work and their dedication to this program. I know sometimes it's hard when a new coach steps in and they've been gracious and welcoming of me. And man, this is one of the hardest working group of young men I've ever had the honor of coaching. And it couldn't happen without you, parents, without you supporting your athletes, without you supporting us here at San Diego High School, and without you supporting me as a coach. So I thank you for loaning your athletes to us. I know sometimes we spend more time with them than you do. So I thank you for loaning them to us. I thank you for your support and your dedication to this program, your time, your money, your effort. And like Mr. Miller said, I believe that this is something that's going to carry with them for the rest of their life, no matter what they do. So thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, this time that you please rise and remove your caps as we honor America by playing our national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner.
No, it's not going to make it. Oh, it made it.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations, seniors. Best of luck to wrestlers from both Ironwood Ridge and Cienega.
Do that hockey.
Hooky. That is four.
Check, check.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Say again.
Gotta whip the hair back.
All right, so I'm going to be on here for Dominic Johnson. Once Dom gets back here, I'm out. So we have a special guest here, David Melkomov, one of the great wrestlers in Cienega Bobcat history, 2-time state champion in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Somebody not to be trifled with. He's got a full mustache here today.
Something new for this time.
Somebody say you're going full Stalin. You got the hair back. It's a good look for you, David. It's good to see you here.
Shout out to my country.
And then Ethan, I've gotten different pronunciations here in your last name. It's either Shoup or Shoop.
Either way is fine.
No, either way is not fun. How do you say it?
I say shout.
All right, Ethan Shoup, the sophomore here on commentary. What are we seeing here, boys? Feel free to chime in.
Let's have take over.
All right, so right now we got 120. I guess we're starting at 120. Tyler Worth here. A little stuff from neutral, but he is wrestling against Ethan I'm going to guess Silva.
Ethan De Silva, so at 120. So they're starting at 120. And then why would they start at this weight class as opposed to 106?
After every single duel, they want to give the first person a little rest.
A little extra rest.
Yeah, the first
that makes
weight
sense.
class. So after every team duel, they want to go up in one weight class, right? And just go on from there. It's a usual tradition in Arizona wrestling. And so far, the Ironwood kid just got out from the chicken wing position, I believe.
I agree.
We're out here back in neutral.
So it was off of Tyler getting some back points. He got them 5-1 right now for the score, but just Ironwood being able to slip out real quick and stand up.
Tyler pushing through, nice double leg takedown. Controlling the top, running him out nice and smooth. Got that half in on the left side. Let's see if he's gonna just stall out and rest. Try to pin him.
Looks like a short time for the period. Just trying to keep him down, but that would be the period and stopping him from being able to get that 1 point. Ironwood trying to get up.
As we're entering the second period of the wrestling match, the score is 7-1. Let's see if we can get the pin nice and early so we can get this started on the right foot.
David, I don't know if you saw the flowing. I know you came in kind of midway through the Flowing Wells Cienega match, but the Bobcats reeled off 6 straight pins.
Oh, really?
Yes,
wow.
in matches all in quick succession, all first period pins.
It's amazing. You know, Patterson came into this program, switched a couple things up, working out so well. That is amazing to see a young coach in a new school just going out there and building a nice quality team. Last year, I believe they took, what, 3rd or 6th as a team. Just had an amazing performance. Hopefully, we believe that they can repeat that and actually top that this season with a very nice bundle of seniors.
Looks like Tyler here keeping both those knees in bounds. Just looking for the pin, really squeezing his head here.
So that's the key. He's got to keep those knees inside that circle to stay in bounds.
His feet.
Oh, he's right on the edge.
If one of the foot goes out of bounds, 3 feet out, that's going to be a pause. But right now, the ref is not paying attention to the feet. Technically speaking, yep, out of bounds.
Oh,
3 feet went out.
A fortunate break there for Ethan De Silva.
Right.
He was in a really difficult position.
Good for him. Good for him. Let's see how the rest of the match goes. I believe that was 3 near fall points, so the score should be 10-1. Yep, absolutely. So he could be looking at a tech here if he gets 6 more points, I believe, right?
Yes.
Tech pretty much means you beat your opponent by 15 plus points. The ref stops the match, and we go on to the next one. But so far, let's hope he gets the pin so he can get maximum amount of points. One shoulder is down. See if he can go through. Wow, perfect.
Tyler being able to stick him.
Nicely done by Cienega. And the pin is, I believe, 6 points, right? So we're up 6-0 at the beginning of the duel. Good way to start this off. Who do we have up next, Ian?
Looks like at 126. So Logan Mitchell, one of the seniors from Cienega, who was honored here earlier tonight, and he's taking on Ashton Teo from Ironwood Ridge.
Logan is a very explosive wrestler. Known him since he was a freshman here. Very muscular little kid. Actually, you know, he used to outlift me when I was a senior, which is surprising, considering that I'm like about like what 7, 8 feet taller than him. But let's see what he got so far. We got a double leg, I believe. Or was it a single?
Not exactly
I
sure.
didn't pay attention,
So strong and so quick.
we still got 2 points in. He's going for that near side cradle. See if he can follow through. The other kid is pretty feisty.
Nice.
Ooh, there we
Good
go.
knee
Nice
transfer
roll
there.
through. See if he can get. He's getting the 5 count, so we got 3 points down right now.
Got those back.
Perfect. 5-0 early in the day. Let's see if you can try to hit that again. Trying to set something up. Nice pressure by Logan, right? That boy is honestly physically gifted.
Look at him. Look at his strength too. You're talking about like his musculature. His arms are just
amazing,
like
right?
ripped out there, and his legs.
If you see what his parents feed him, Jesus.
All protein.
All of it.
I want it. I want it.
I don't think this man ever has a cheat day since he was born.
Wow.
Just nice and strong body over. This is really hard to get out of. I feel like there's going to be a pin. Awesome. Good job, Logan. 2 pins back to back. We're talking 12-0 start against Ironwood. Ironwood is also a very great program. Let's see if they can catch up to Cienega.
Why? And you said, David, that was a very difficult hold to get out of. Why is it so difficult?
Your arm gets stuck underneath you, so it's like to get out, you got to use just your hips against his whole body being on top of you. So we're talking, you know, his chest being on your chest while he's pushing down with his shoulders, his hips, while all you kind of have to do is just somehow flip them off with your hips. So unless the person on top messes up, honestly, I've never seen anyone get out of it, at least on the high school level.
I mean, just adding on top of that, you got Logan, super strong. I mean,
exactly.
I mean,
a lot of pressure in one concentrated area. Bobby Tejas at 132, the silver medalist from last year from Cienega, taking on Tyler Rokop from Ironwood Ridge.
Bobby is a very skilled, amazing wrestler with a nice attitude to win. This boy wants nothing but the first place at state. Will do whatever it takes to get it. So far, it seems like a great matchup. We'll see where this takes us. Bobby keeps trying to shoot around.
And both wrestlers really quick on their feet here. So
Nice and
this is
fast
something we
there.
did not see, where we had both wrestlers there, very cagey, kind of feeling each other out a little bit here.
Straight a dogfight right there. Let's see. See, this is one of those weight classes where kids are now, you know, filled with weight, but at the same time, you know, they're small, they're fast. This is a very lethal, very competitive weight class all around Arizona, or actually the whole country. You know, best wrestlers come out of there. It's just amazing to see.
Can you talk about, I mean, they both have each other's foot right now. Can
Yes.
you talk about how Bobby grabbed the opponent's foot?
So at the moment, you know, he was just doing a regular scramble, roll through, right, getting a foot in. I wasn't sure exactly what the move is called.
I don't think there is a name for it.
Yeah.
Scrambling
You know,
down
just a good old classic scramble, fighting to see who gets positioned first. As you can tell, no one got it because no one wants to give it up. So we know automatically this is going to be a really good match.
I mean,
now,
yes.
with those roll-throughs, right, what we got to understand is that it requires a lot of energy. So you got to, you know, think about you have 3 2-minute periods left. You can't just gas yourself out right now. One good thing about Bobby is that his conditioning, his cardio is just absolutely tremendous. So he got the first takedown, right? It's 2-0, still in the first period, and he's going for the pin, right? So I guess all I had to do is wear the opponent down a little bit, get him in a pinning position. We have a cradle.
You could really see that from Bob. I mean, you know, that long, very long scramble, just looking for that 2. No one got it. Back up to neutral, and it looks like Ironwood kind of made a mistake there. Sloppy shot.
Yeah,
you know,
all it
caught
takes
off
is
guard.
one little slip up. You know, you relax a little bit, you do something off, and you know, if it's neck to neck opponents, it's gonna be, you know, 2 points, 3 points, possibly even a pin, right? You can't make mistakes, not on the high school level.
Because it seemed like both wrestlers are very defensive there and very protective.
Exactly.
And Tyler Rokop there, fortunate that the period ended because he was in a tough situation.
Let's see what this takes us. I'm not sure who got the first call, but we had a neutral standpoint from the beginning. Bobby has one leg in, attempted roll through. Nice little
catch by Bob.
Nice little scramble. Neither one of them wants to give anything up.
Again, just the same thing from last period. Just amazing scramble from both wrestlers here.
So we just got a what is this called?
Stalemate.
A stalemate call, right?
I was just going to ask because each wrestler had the other's leg, and it didn't seem like there was an advantage going either way.
So when you get a call a stalemate, it could even be after a takedown or anything like that. That's when usually when two players, or in this case two wrestlers, right? They just kind of don't move.
No advantage to either wrestler.
Nothing is happening. They're just kind of there breathing, you know. Even though this is a good sport, right? You also want to entertain the crowd, right? So you can't just kind of just lay there and rest for the next 6 minutes. Still 5-0. They're just standing there. Nice little push back and forth. It's all about timing. Both of them are waiting for something to happen. Boom. Nice takedown by Bobby Tejas. 7-0 up in the second period. And is it me, or are those the singlets that Cienega used to wear for state a couple years back?
I mean,
state finals, I think.
Yeah.
I like that new little design.
You would know, David.
Sadly, I never got the chance to wear that one. I think when I was wrestling, the coach actually forgot these. But I love the white ones. The white ones are awesome.
You know, yeah, these orange ones were not given out to us, so they were just given for today. I'm assuming it's for the
senior night.
Yeah, the senior night.
So a throwback uniform here for the Cats.
Oh, we're talking classic.
Harkening back to 2009, the first state title in school history at Cienega under Marty Niblo.
Good times, good times.
So they're rolling out the throwbacks here tonight.
To be completely honest, I actually think those singlets were here longer than that.
Sure.
Yeah, which is amazing. You know, it's like a nice little, what's the right word I'm looking for?
Just a nice little change, you know.
Yeah.
An homage, a tribute to an earlier era?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Tradition. Tradition. So, entering the third period, 7-0. Ironwood gets the top position. Let's see if Bobby can escape from it. Nice little roll through. Nice. Bobby just got the reversal point straight to the back points.
Bobby Tejas is so good at just feeling the situation.
He keeps spinning. Bobby doesn't give up that easily. He got to go all the way through. But as you can tell, the Ironwood kid is pretty feisty. He doesn't want to give anything up, not easily. Bobby just earned 2 points for the reversal. It's 9-0 in the third period. Let's see if Bobby can get the pin. And going straight for the cradle, back count has begun. Well done by Bobby Tejas.
Wow, that's a virtuoso performance by Bobby Tejas. A string of moves, like countless different moves there in succession, rapidly. We saw, I don't know if that was his whole display of arsenal weapons there, but
no one knows what Bobby's capable of. Not even Bobby, probably.
So 3 successive pins here. Tyler Worth, Logan Mitchell, and Bobby Tejas.
Talking 18-0.
18-0.
Right? A great way to start the senior night. Or should I say, finish?
Yes, and at 1:38, Jason Hill from Cienega and Brent Ward from Ironwood Ridge. But you're right, David, a great way to finish, yes.
See, right now we're just kind of testing each other out. Nice little underhook. Going for the double. Nice sprawl, nice sprawl. So you can turn around, spin. Oof. Oh, this is dangerous. This is dangerous.
Wow.
Awesome pin by Ironwood. Can't take that away from him. Completely amazing move. Straight to the cradle from the takedown. Wow.
Seems almost as if he got the cradle and like flipped him
mid-air.
around. Yeah, something crazy.
Yeah. Who doesn't love some good wrestling, right?
Some freaky moves.
I love it. I never see it, David, so it's always like a treat for me. It's kind of like seeing a comet going across the sky.
Oh, yeah,
They don't come around very often, but it's something to behold when you actually have the pleasure of seeing it.
It's funner than people say it is. I can promise you that. Who do we have up next, Mr. Miller?
At 145, it's Carlo Castagnaro from Cienega and Jacob Brown from Ironwood Ridge.
Let's see. Where are they? Carlo. Is he even in the building? We have this boy with a very big backpack. I cannot see through.
I'm going to double check my lineup here. So yes, at 145, Carlo Castagnaro from Cienega, Jacob Brown, Ironwood Ridge.
Oh, he's just fixing his headgear. Should be good to go.
I was wondering, I thought there was some sort of like equipment issue going on.
But here we are ready to roll. Let's see what this match brings us.
Either that or I thought he was making a quick trip to the bathroom, but I don't know what kind of leeway that these wrestlers have here.
Hey, cutting weight, you never know when you gotta go. Nice and feisty from the start. Wanting to score nice and fast. So you got the headlock in, drops to his knees. Ooh, this man just tried to go straight for the pin from right there.
It's a good move, but you got to make sure to get him to the mat first. I mean,
Get your hips through.
It's not always a completely terrible idea. But
a nice little scramble going out of bounds. No one has scored a single point so far. We're back into neutral position. I like how both of them don't give up, right? They always want to roll through all the way. You know, that's the wrestling spirit
that
we
trait.
love to see.
Carl being able to throw his hips back into him.
He's getting a nice single leg.
Looks like he got it lifted.
Ooh,
nothing off
yet.
balance, but he's got the whizzer there.
Whizzer there. You know, technically speaking, Ironwood could have scored that one.
Oh, Carl sits back, grabs that leg. And
right away.
See if we can get some back points right off of it. Looks like he hasn't even got the
no
two
control,
yet.
no control at the moment. I believe now he's going to be awarded 2.
Yeah, he's got the cradle locked up too. So
the thing is, he doesn't have the hips hooked up.
There
we go. Perfect.
Looks like Ironwood's still fighting, but he's got it locked up. Looks like he gave him the takedown, and he's waving some back points now.
Let's see.
Carl locking up that suitcase. That's really tight now.
Now that's going to be hard to get out. Keeps fighting though. I like that. Both shoulders. Perfect job.
Locking up the suitcase?
Yep, that's what it's called, right? You got one leg through.
Super tight cradle. I mean, you get in one of those.
It doesn't get tight.
Yeah.
Not that I know of, at least.
You're pretty much just folding his leg on top of him.
Well done by Cienega.
As
we're entering our 5th matchup, I believe the score is 24-6. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Awesome. Let's see who we got next, sir.
Peter Harrington, 152, and Peyton Billings from Ironwood Ridge.
Senior here.
Another senior here on senior night.
Let's see what this match brings to us. No. Personally, sometimes I get nervous when wrestlers just stand still in one spot. I feel like you gotta move side to side, be a little more unpredictable. Because when your feet are just there, nice and steady, it's pretty easy to attack them. It's pretty easy to predict what you're gonna do. But then again, you know, there's always exceptions. So hopefully this won't be one of those exceptions.
Yeah, it is one of those things people just get taught.
Ooh, that was an amazing throw. Can't deny that. We gotta keep fighting, keep rolling through.
Good job by Peter. Ironwood trying to put that chicken wing in, but Peter just getting his arm back. Cross face, but under.
Going for the cradle underneath. Now that's going to be tough to get out.
Got it tight. Looks like being able to stay on that hip, belly back out.
Got a 2 count for that. I wonder what his strategy is going to be. Just get the points or aim for the pin.
Another cradle here.
Peter's just giving up his leg too easily.
Super tight here.
I wonder how strong that kid is.
Yeah, seemed a little big, but Peter's got a nice good kick right off the spin, but he's
seems a little bit trapped. can't take that away from them. You know, very nice spin done by Ironwood. Nothing more to say about that. Good takedown, good pin.
Yeah, Peyton Billings there with the pin for Ironwood Ridge, and that draws the Nighthawks to within 24 to 12. So every match has been a pin here.
So far, you know, that's what the fans love to see. That's what we definitely love to see.
I love to see it too. So 4 pins here for Cienega and 2 for Ironwood Ridge, 24-12. At 160, it's Gabe Levy from Cienega and Avery Parker from Ironwood Ridge.
Movement on their feet, nice and smooth. Testing each other out. You know, no one wants to rush. No one wants to make any little silly mistakes they don't have to make. You gotta stay aggressive. Gotta stay smart. Part of the game. There we go. Out of bounds. Right. This was a nice 50-50 position, right? If neither one of them wanted to, could have been a nice little throw.
Gabe Levy, known for that. He really does a really upper body guy, and he's good with throws too. So it's expected to see from him.
It's pretty hard to do things with your upper body. I tell you that myself. It's a lot of strength required.
And Gabe has got it.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Absolutely. Hand fight.
Nice.
Ooh, that was beautiful.
Nice little arm
But
drag there.
I feel like there's gonna be an out of bounds call right now. He
Let's
gotta
see if he can suck it back in, but
sadly. You know,
definitely tried there. Definitely tried.
Sometimes people know where they at, and that's another, you know, not smart thing. I'd say it's just part of the strategy. You know, if you know you're on the edge, and you're the one who's being shot at, you might as well just, you know, stay at the edge, right? Not try to push yourself out. But here's we see they got a nice, good old double leg takedown in the first period.
Nice climb up. Good little mat return almost.
Hopefully Gabe starts moving, starts getting out.
It's very important. I mean, like you were saying before, being able to just stay still is not, you know.
Yeah, not the best way to go.
I mean, neutral, bottom, top. You don't really want to be sitting there, you know. Always moving. Let's see if Gabe, you know, can really use that with being able to.
And also sometimes takedowns, right? They can knock the wind out of you. It's just the realistic term of it. So sometimes people get taken down and they got to take those couple 20, 30 seconds to kind of, you know, get back into it. But as we can tell right now, the time ran out as Ironwood was attempting a cradle.
The score is now 2-0.
2-0. Ironwood is up. And, you know, some people could be stronger on top. Some people could be stronger on bottom. So just because we see a 2-0 score doesn't mean the match is anywhere close to being over.
Just a nice little start here.
Yeah. Get the crowd nice and warm.
Both wrestlers seem like the upper body kind, so.
It's the weight class, man. It's the weight class.
Yes. What is this, 160?
No, 160 just tend to be a little stronger than average.
So if I'm not incorrect, Ironwood chose bottom.
Absolutely.
Looks like he's got the
escape. There we go. Let's hope he gets taken to take
sit
down.
Him down. There you go. Oops, sorry. Sorry about that.
Nice.
Nice.
So as we can tell,
go,
Ironwood got out at the beginning of the period, and then Cienega right away got a nice little takedown. Sadly, we can't see, so I'm going to have to stand up a little. Hope you guys don't mind.
That's fine.
Just good old back control, right?
Looks like Gabe's being able to really keep him down here. Not a lot of movement, though. But,
you know, testing the waters, right?
Seeing what he can get away with. It's always good.
The thing I like about wrestling, right, it could go one way for a solid period of time, right? One guy just dominating, and out of nowhere, you know, it just switches up right away. And it's just interesting to see how, you know, he was pushing the pace, and now things seem to change a little bit. Now it's a little too early to say as we're only in the second period. Things usually start to heat up in the third when both of the guys got to, you know, finish it, really. So it's 2-4. Right.
A lot of displays here for both wrestlers. Kind of now they're into it. They got the feel for it, and now they know what they can get away with. They know what they need to be looking for, and just trying to get those points.
And Gabe has to start catching up.
Of course, yeah. 4-2 here for Ironwood.
As we can hear pretty nice and clearly, one of the coaches at Cienega is saying motion because, as you can tell, he's just standing there still. It's pretty easily to just grab his leg and take him down.
And it's not only that, you know, motion helps with not being shot on, but it helps with
setting
opening up those
a
gaps.
shot.
And yes, setting up
Exactly.
those, just any type of attack you can really get.
Making room to just, you know, score for yourself.
Said before, Gabe, super strong, so any little opening he can get, probably go for it, suck it under. Looks like that's the end of the period.
So now we're going to the third and final period. This is where hopefully things will heat up because it's only a 2-point difference, really. You know, the person who's on top, Ironwood in this case, he wants to get ahead because he knows if Cienega gets up, you know, we're talking a 1-point lead.
Yeah.
A takedown will
Put
be
him on
will be the final straw.
Nice,
There we go. Cienega going
nice
for
switch
the
there.
Oh, didn't go with it. Yeah, that's beautiful to watch. This is amazing wrestling right there. Wow. Wow. 4-4.
Looks like Ironwood start the blood time.
Blood time. Probably got a bloody nose or something. But what we just saw was the beautiful wrestling.
Amazing.
Oof.
Amazing moves by Gabe. Just there you go. Like you were saying, get it started. Third period. That's when we really got to move.
That's when you know, stack up some energy to last you 2 rounds, and then on the third one, you know, you only have 2 minutes, right? You have to give it all you got. It's your, you know,
this is it.
That's it, right? Last fight or match of the night.
And that turn of events seemed very quick because it seemed as if Gabe were on the edge of a knife blade there in terms of being in danger, and he flipped it around very quickly. Like little subtle movements here that you guys are able to see technically.
All it takes is just a nice little push from your heart, you know? You're like, all right, I think it's time to fully engage, and that's exactly what we saw, right? A full engagement on both sides, too, because it was one roll through, and then the Nighthawk almost rolled him over after he got rolled over, and then it's just, wow. That's all I'm saying.
So Gabe Levy and Avery Parker here, deadlocked at 4. What does gauze up the nose do for you when you have a bloody nose? How much more difficult does it make it for you to breathe?
So personally, I have never actually gotten a bloody nose in a match. But, you know, Dominic Johnson, one of the seniors tonight, that boy is just known for bleeding, right? Every match that, that was a close call.
Very dangerous, almost
close
off the mat here and onto the wooden floor of the basketball surface.
Wait, hold on a second.
Oh, is that a deduction here for a penalty?
I believe so, and that's the confusion, as we can tell.
There was nothing malicious about that.
If anything, he's just trying to return back to the mat. There's no reason to.
And you see Coach Patterson here protesting to the referee. So what would the penalty be? Would there be a point?
I think it's potentially dangerous, or I'm not sure, to be honest. Maybe he just forced pushing him out. I don't even know if that's a call or not. That's why he went out there and fight it.
For sure.
That's usually how people you'd fight with that. If you have the ankle in one leg, you know.
So there was a point awarded for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
A point penalty.
You know.
It's questionable that call was correct or not. But
oh no, he's getting stuck. He gets. All right. So now, after that nice little momentum that they got a break from by the refs.
I mean, it's hard for Gabe. You know, you fought all that for that 2, tying it back up 4-4, and then
wasted all your energy just to lose a point. But then again, let's not write Gabe off just yet. There's still plenty of time left in this period. Gabe just got 1. It's 5-7. This is where things are going to get real interesting. That's what we're here for, ladies and gentlemen.
Still third period here. Gabe really needing to get that gap and just go in for that attack, get that 2 for the takedown.
There we go. Gabe is going for the 2. Nothing yet. He got to keep trying.
Both wrestlers really tired here, but Gabe's really just got to keep pushing.
You know, and you can't take dumb shots. Red is stalling for now. Gabe has to just understand to keep going. He can't stop moving. He can't let the other opponent make any points. As we can tell, the coaches are pumped up on Cienega. They're trying to yell at Gabe. They're trying to get him to work. And this is what's hard about being a wrestler, right? People don't understand how truly tired you are, but, you know, you're not as tired as you think you are. If the coach thinks you can keep going, you can keep going. Now there's short time. Gabe has to shoot. He has to keep shooting. 1 stalling point awarded to Cienega. He got to keep shooting.
He's got to keep going.
Short time.
5, 4.
And, you know, a lot of controversy in this match.
Yes.
Cienega loses by 1 point that was awarded to them. by the referee. But overall, I want to say good job to both wrestlers. That was a very entertaining match. Congratulations.
Now, David and Ethan, how many points does Ironwood Ridge get for that decision?
So I believe this is
3 points?
Minimum, yeah, minimum 3.
So 24-15 right now is the score as it stands. Cienega up on top.
The way the points system works in wrestling, I believe, when it's a close match, right? So anywhere from 1 to 8 point difference, it will be a 3 point towards the team record, right? If you beat him from, let's say, 9 to 14, that's a 4 point towards the team. At technical, which is a 15 point deficit, and it would be a 5 point thing, and a pin obviously would be 6, right? And obviously, if the person doesn't show up another team, the team is awarded 6 points. Good, how you doing?
And you just wonder here, Ethan, what that referee's decision there for the point that was awarded to Avery Parker there, who won 7-6 on the decision. You wonder how that shifted the momentum from Gabe Levy, because you're right, David, climbing back from a 2-point deficit on the escape, and then to tie it up, and then to try to take his man down. It seemed accidental to me. There was nothing malicious or deliberate about that. He wasn't certainly trying to force his kid off the mat and onto the hard wood here.
Well, absolutely not. I mean,
go ahead.
Even then, like let's say, I doubt what Gabe would ever think like this, but
right.
You do that, it's for the single reason to return it back to the mat, or
yes.
push him out of bounds, restart from the center, and just go from there. I don't see that call very much. It's not very often you see that, and I mean, it made the difference in this match. And
it could play a difference here in the overall
team scores.
Team scores
well,
here.
That is why the coaches always say, don't ever depend on the referees.
Right.
You got to finish the match nice and early. But as we can tell, we have a new set of people.
Yep, 170. It's Timmy Morris, the freshman from Cienega, and Jose Beltran from Ironwood Ridge.
As you can tell, Jose is currently in a very nice position. He got the 2 points for the takedown. But what I like about the freshman, he's fighting, right?
Yes.
Any other freshman probably would have already got himself pinned, but this is nice to see, right?
So
even if
put a good fight.
Yeah, even if you're not very skilled, right? If you have heart, right? That's where the potential lies in my eyes.
Now, Timmy flipping like that, was that to alleviate the pressure that was put onto his right arm and his shoulder?
He's just bumping, doing whatever it takes not to get pinned. It's just as easy as that.
A good way to look at this is, you shift from one side to the other. You get their weight off you off on one side. But
you got to keep one shoulder blade up. But this is a very tough matchup for a freshman. The boy looks bigger, a little older, but that's besides the point. He has 4 years to grow.
Experience,
right? 4 years,
everything.
exactly.
There's always
you got to get the little men's strength. You're a
correct.
Teenager, right?
Right.
Just a nice reality of life.
Yep. You have Beltran here, who's more physically developed, and a pin for Jose Beltran. And now the Nighthawks have narrowed the gap to 24-21 after that pin at 170.
Now this is where it gets nice.
Danny Mendez, 182, a senior, and Chance Sasser from Ironwood Ridge.
Now all these bigger boys, coaches, right before they go out there to get the mentality of, start thinking about it, look at the team points. We really need this.
And this is what I love about the bigger boys, right? I mean, I was one of them myself, right? But, whenever it's super close, right, with the bigger guys, it's like, it's time for us to show up, right? We're doing this for our team, not just for us. And that's where they get a little more fired up themselves. But,
How was that for you? I mean, you've been in the situation, I'm sure,
a lot
many
of times, right?
So what's the main, what are you thinking, really? Are you going for that pin, or just, being smart and just wrestling normal, or?
In my head, every time we got competitions like that where it's nice and close and it's kind of just dependent on how am I going to perform versus, how the team's going to perform, right? So if we're kind of down, I never really thought about it that way. For me, it was just like another day in an office. You walk in, you warm up, and you go, right? And if, you never give up a point, no matter what weight class you're in, right? You wrestle nice, wrestle tough, and if you deserve it, then you're gonna get it, right? But see, what I don't like currently about neither of the teams, that the teammates themselves, they're pretty quiet, and so's the crowd, right? I love when there's that cheering, right? There's this passion that's coming from the bench that's cheering up the person on their team, right? nice in silence. You know, it's not as fun when you're in that current, you know, area. But
Oof. That was a quick pin.
Looks like
You hear some jeers here because it did appear from my perspective, and I have a better angle than you guys do on that one. I don't think both those shoulders were down there. If they were, it was for a fraction of a second. So,
well, see, that's another
Chance Sasser with the pin.
Another interesting thing about wrestling, it's, you know, it all depends on the referee, right? Some referees like to wait a couple seconds, right? Even like 1.5, 2 seconds. Other referees are just, they see it, boom, pin right away. So it's just, you know, a little individuality.
It's hard
from
to think about your match and be like, wow, like that was all the ref. You know, a different ref, it could be a different result, but again, you have to rely on the ref.
Yeah, you want to dominate the opponent, not just depend on the system, right?
You know,
And the Nighthawks here have stormed back. They were down 18-0, and now they've taken the lead here for the first time, 27-24. Now we're at 195. It's Anthony Contreras from Cienega and Luca Moili or Moily. And I'm sorry for mispronouncing your last name, Luca, but Luca's out there at 195 for the Nighthawks.
And this is my favorite weight class, as I was in for about 2 years that I wrestled at Cienega. And this weight class is just split in between two types of people, right? You're neither a freak of nature when it comes to strength, or you're just pretty fast, right? Or you're just, you know, one of those bigger boys who are not just as good, you know, just there for the for the environment, for the experience. But you know, once you have the both of those things, strength and speed, that's when you become an elite level wrestler. Now, Contreras, very good kid, right? Still pretty young. He was out for about what?
almost the entire season.
Almost the entire season with an injury. He's, you know, nice, tough kid. I wrestled him a couple times. You know, a lot of room to grow, a lot of room to improve.
Looks like you know, almost a 2 there, but he was able to grab that leg and just stop that from happening.
So no control on either side of the team or neither side of the wrestlers. Still 0-0. Both of them have good ability to score here, but
Looks like
I feel like both of them are stuck,
yes.
not knowing what to do.
Not exactly what they're comfortable with. They're slowly flattening them out, but
There we got a
ref's gonna call stalemate, and
it's a good call in my
That's a
opinion.
win for Anthony, too. A lot of effort there to earn that stalemate and no points on the board.
I mean,
So
for both
195,
wrestlers.
Luca Moily and Anthony Contreras. Go ahead, Ethan. You were going to make a point. I interrupted you there.
No, you're all right. I don't even remember what I was about to say.
See, another thing with the heavy boys, right? It's you're more physical, right, when it comes to heavier weights. That's just logic, right? I mean, you know, you're 195, you're carrying all that on you, and a lot of times you don't see those same moves that you see in the lower weight classes, like 120s, you know, 130, 140, you know, all those weight classes, just because, you know, different group of muscles, right? You're not as fast, and you know, I expected a lot of throws from either side, right, or maybe just single leg takedowns, but you know, everyone has their own gameplay, game style, strategy. So right now we're just into the second period. Cienega, I believe, got bottom, right? As the first call since Anthony was on bottom.
Yes. Yeah. I remember Ironwood declining the choice there.
So Ironwood is trying to run that chicken wing. Let's see if you can.
Anthony's got to keep moving here on bottom.
And that's another thing, right? You can't just. Sometimes it gets tough, right? Sometimes, honestly, you can't.
Especially
you just
for these
can't.
heavier guys,
If you want to, you can't. But you know, the chicken wing is so far successful, right? And this is no good for Cienega. He cannot get himself pinned if he wants to win, or else everything will be relied on the last two weight classes.
We also have the 106 and the 113 still.
Oh, that
wrestling.
is true.
Yeah, but
that is absolutely.
But that puts a lot of pressure on the 106 and
Yes,
113 wrestlers from Cienega. And you're putting a lot of pressure on the freshman, Tyler Allison, who's filling in for you, Ethan, tonight at 113. A lot of pressure on the freshman.
And Ethan, tell me, why aren't you out there with them, buddy?
I got an injury on my lower back, so.
Fair enough. Sadly, Cienega just got pinned, which is okay. We still have a couple more wrestlers up that can help the team get back up on the senior night. Good matchup. Let's see where this takes us.
33-24, Ironwood Ridge. After that Luca Moily pin of Anthony Contreras.
Ooh, now we got the
here it
big
gets
boys.
220, Jacob Least from Cienega and Christopher Gomez from Ironwood Ridge.
Jacob been wrestling for quite some time, right?
One of the seniors honored
Yep.
here tonight.
He got a couple good moves. The only thing with him, he got to be more confident in himself. He is good, but it's like when he wrestles, it's like he doesn't believe in the fact that he is good. So let's hopefully, it's his senior night, he give it all he got. Kid is talented, he got moves. Let's see where this match takes us.
And just that mentality, I mean, really wrestling, so many aspects to
It's
it,
mental game.
mental game, mentality is everything. And going out there and like you said, going out there and not believing in yourself and not thinking that you're good enough puts, almost like a negative on everything.
A nice
on
roadblock.
everything. I mean, speed, just being able to like confidently do moves that you would normally be able to do easily,
And another interesting thing about wrestling, right, is like, let's say someone is 100% in the weight room, right, or not in the wrestling room, and for some reason some people just can't fully transfer it to the mat when it comes to be in front of, the audience, the nerves, the pressure. When in the wrestling room, you're relaxed. And, I'm not saying Jacob is like that, but what I'm saying is, that little pullback is what could give him a potential problem.
It's
but
always an aspect.
Yeah,
It's always
exactly.
there.
Exactly.
And it doesn't help. I mean, not to say anything about the team scores or anything, just, being out there with the mentality of, we're down,
And this is where the team needs to get engaged, right? As we can, I don't know if the camera probably is not showing, but the bleachers on both teams are quiet,
still
right? When I used to wrestle, everyone would jump
Screaming.
out of their seats and yell like, let's go, you know what I'm saying?
And that's good.
Be lively, because that fires you up,
Yeah.
gives you the confidence, right? That is something that we want to see. But sadly, as you can tell, Nighthawk just got a 2-point takedown right
at the
before
end
the
of the
time,
period.
man. Right, that's something that all coaches hate to see. But, it's only the first period, right? We still have the whole night ahead of us.
And a little stereotype here with the heavier weights, just, you get them to your back. It's usually these don't come off your
So
back.
hard to get out,
it
right?
is. Bigger guys,
So
like
hard.
on you, you're a little bigger as well. Get tired a little quicker, so.
I mean, I wrestled against, in practice, two guys who are like 250, 260. And I can tell you that even though I was, quote-unquote, a little stronger than average, but when they lay on you, all you want to do is just give up and just be like, all right, I want to go home. I don't need any of this because them boys just crush you down. But, I've never been that big of a boy to be 250 versus 250, so maybe I don't know their perspective, but based on what I've seen, it's a little tough to get out.
And I don't think the casual fan understands how challenging it is to give max effort for 2 minutes.
Absolutely.
Or 6 minutes
6
potentially for 3 periods.
It gets tough. It gets tough. And it seems like they're not doing much from like a naked eye of a casual, non-casual fan. But as we can tell here, this seems about done. And Ironwood takes a big gap lead against Cienega. So now, is there still a possibility Cienega can win?
It's 39-24, Ironwood Ridge. We've got the 285, 106, and 113
So
matches.
Is a open, I believe.
I had a question mark there. I wasn't sure what that was, if that was a forfeiture or if they didn't have a wrestler at 106 or
I guess
if
we'll
we didn't know
see.
who that wrestler
So
was. We'll find
pretty
out.
much the only way Cienega can win the senior night is we get both pins. Now, what's interesting, right, is we just got two brothers in this varsity team, 220 and 285 weight class, or is it 287 now? No, it's still 285.
285,
right?
yeah. Seth
We're
Least.
still waiting for that Christmas break.
Wyatt Nelson from Ironwood Ridge.
Let's see.
I would imagine they go through a lot of eggs at the house.
Probably they have
a lot of
right?
milk,
a lot of
bread,
food.
protein.
A lot of protein.
Mom's going to the grocery store a lot. I would imagine to feed those two boys.
Probably a couple times a day.
Oh man, I can't even imagine.
Yeah, I know
That's
you
a lot
can't.
of food.
But we need this win. And the way he's wrestling right now, I don't like what I'm seeing, if I be completely honest. He knows what to do, but he's just not doing it. You can't stay on bottom like that, right? You're just going to get crushed by the opponent's weight.
And that's what happened. We saw Jacob's left leg there. All that weight by his opponent, Wyatt Nelson, was put on that one leg.
Right, he got to stay up. He got to keep his back straight, because if he just keeps leaning down and the boy just pushes him down, just uses his weight, right? That's another thing that, 285s, it's so much different than just any casual wrestling, because if you get stuck, boom, you're done. Compared to, like, let's say 128 or, you know, any of those weight classes. But this doesn't seem so good for Cienega.
Seth's still fighting here.
He's going for the, ooh. Sorry,
like he got the
we have
two.
our medical team right here kind of covering my sight. But
yeah, Kyle Bowen, why don't you move out of the, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Great trainer from Cienega.
Really nice guy.
Yes.
Super nice.
Fixed me up a couple times in the past.
Probably when he was a little younger.
Just a little bit.
He's still young.
But we got to keep fighting, right? Cienega is currently on bottom. And I tell you what, it's hard to get out when you're in that position, right? We're trying to run at. Sheesh. If only I could see.
I think this is the time when it's got to click in your mind.
Yeah,
Maybe turn your
you got to
heart on
want it, and the team isn't hyping him up. I feel like I'm about to take off my headset and start yelling at him.
Yeah, big break there for Seth as it's ruled off the mat. So they'll reconvene here in the center of the mat.
Now here
Looks like a couple of the seams here, too, are kind of like spread apart here. So I don't know if there's like tape that needs to be put down there.
Yeah, maybe. From
Maybe
this
not
angle,
enough.
not that easy for me to tell, but it happens, right? When you got some big boys just going in between the mats, yeah, that's going to be tough for the mat. But he got to survive short time. He can't just lay there. At least the best thing he can do is not let the other man score. Perfect, right? Not the worst case scenario. I believe it's 2-0.
And here's another amateur question for you boys, but 285, is it 285 and above? Because
No.
Wyatt Nelson looks significantly larger than Seth Least.
So the way 285 weight class works is you can be over, let's say 195, right? Because the way wrestling works is you can only be up 2 classes, right? So anywhere from, let's say, 195 and up until 285. That's that, right? So casually, you know, usually people are between 240, 260, right? Because they're still kids, they're still high school. Not everyone just that naturally big and athletic, right? All in once. So
Now, like you were saying as well, it's hard to believe that, you know, Seth here is the same weight as his opponent.
Right.
yeah,
They're in the same class, but
Yes.
Wyatt Nelson is significantly heavier than Seth is.
And like you were saying, that's a big jump, you know, almost 100 pounds.
Yep.
well, how much do you think he weighs?
I'm not actually sure, but I mean,
On
I
a
know
naked eye, he doesn't look over 220 to me, if I'm being completely honest.
Yes.
And the boy on top, I'd say
Definitely maximum.
240, 250, you know, probably a football player,
yes.
right? But
Right, probably a defensive lineman.
something like that, right? I mean, he's built for it, right? He'd be a great lineman if you ask me.
No, I guess a little comparison here would be Seth does not play football. So,
Nice little difference.
caution on red here.
And it's just 2-0 here. Wyatt Nelson, who has seemed to be in control of this match to this point, just has a 2-0 lead. So Seth could easily come
Potentially,
back here and bridge
yeah.
that gap.
Honestly, it's not. But that's the thing is when you are on bottom and you have so much weight, it drains you, right? From being crushed, from trying to get out, right? And it's just, you know, if the person on top, he's working, that's the problem. He's not just laying there and crushing him. So it's not like he can get a stalemate call, get a little bailout.
Looks like a full Nelson call on red.
Okay,
here.
so there we go. We're catching one break so far. So it's 2-1 now.
Now Seth really
Right.
needs to
Get
you know,
up.
realize in his head that, I mean, I was thinking about this too. I mean, Seth is, like we were saying, a little probably less than his opponent right here. He needs to realize that, click into his head that he needs to use his speed. He needs to use this ability to quickly move, at least faster than his opponent.
And
Seth here on
Seth
his
is about to
feet.
get up. He has what it's. Get up.
Get up.
Let's go.
There
Let's
goes.
go. Wow.
Seth
And
now
he
up,
goes.
and gets the return.
It's a 3-point move. And as we're talking, right, as we were just talking, this just made a huge flip, right? I believe it's 4-2.
Seth 3-2.
Cienega.
There's no escape there, but
3-2, I think it's on the scoreboard right now.
3-2. Okay, because I believe he got one for
I
escape.
don't know if the.
But it looked like the Nighthawk wrestler, so he had taken Seth down here. That's the end of the second period. So it sets up a lot of drama here in period 3. But it seemed like after the takedown, it was a hard takedown from Nelson, that something happened to him because there was no follow-up.
Exactly, right? And that's another thing.
He was stunned.
Sorry for interrupting, Ian.
You're
But
right.
another thing about the bigger boys is, you know, they're wasting all this energy,
Yes.
right? They're not just star athletes, but as you can tell, he just easily got out. Now he got to keep circling.
Yes.
The only
Is
thing
that a
is
dangerous hold?
Yep. So we got just potentially
Yeah, it looks
dangerous.
like he's gonna
Everything
put,
is straight.
Gonna put red back down.
But you know, we're talking this weight difference, and he's not using the speed that he has to an advantage, right? He's trying to wrestle a big boy like he's a big boy, when in reality he's so much lighter. Now all he has to do is hold him down, try to work so the ref doesn't give him a stalling call, right? And it seems like it's working out because either way, both of them are nice and tired. You know, bigger boys are not known for their great conditioning, at least on the high school level. But Seth got to use his weight. And I like what I'm seeing so far.
Oh!
Oh, he's getting back points.
Oh!
What a comeback. Oh, my God.
Just quickly turning him right to his back. Being able to catch him off guard. Right
As
at the
we can
edge.
tell, the Cienega's bench seems very hyped up. Everyone out here, wow, you know.
Mostly in the crowd.
Who expected that? Not me, I promise you that. Wow.
Wow, that was an epic comeback there.
Congratulations
A testament to
Cienega.
Seth Least's effort, determination, and hard work. There's grit.
What a way to finish, right? Wow.
And it looks like Wyatt Nelson there is hobbling off a little bit, so favoring his right leg.
Yeah, looks like here we got.
Oh,
and
man.
he just fell down.
And I don't know if that's emotion or if that's physical pain.
I don't think it's physical pain, and if it is, then he's going to get checked out right now. But, you know, when you're up, you know, the mental state takes over, too, because, wow, I was winning this match.
Okay, so 106. I think 106 was a forfeiture for Cienega. Does that give them 6 points?
I believe so, yes.
So 36-39, a lot of pressure here on Tyler Allison, the freshman, against Kellen Mers from Ironwood Ridge.
So whoever wins this.
I mean, you
and
know,
what
Tyler,
is the current
it's a
score?
3-point deficit here.
Yeah.
Nighthawks up 39-36.
So Tyler
has to
really
win.
needs to kick it in gear and just don't lose. I mean, that's a bad way to really look at it, but
hey, that's the realistic way to look at it,
that's
right?
how you gotta look at it.
But
Still
as you
fighting
can tell, he's not giving up. He got to keep moving. He got to keep moving.
He's up.
Right.
Looks like that's gonna give it
Ooh.
to.
Almost blew the whistle. If it was an extra 0.2 seconds, it would have been a.
That would have been it.
Yep.
So Tyler Allison battling here for his life on the mat.
Actually, technically.
Metaphorically. Not literally.
It's the right way to say it. He's getting that chicken wing now into the cradle. You know, as we can tell, both of the wrestlers are not maybe super experienced, right? Usually people within that weight class tend to be young, you know, just because, you know.
Not fully developed yet physically.
Exactly. They're kids,
Little,
right?
little flyweights.
12, 13, 14 years old. Now, of course, not everyone, right? Because we have an Ian right here who
Correct.
is, you know,
Ethan, yeah.
nice and small, and he's pretty old. But, all right, Cienega is in a bad position. Back points earned by Nighthawks. But as we just saw previously, right, you can be losing the quarter of the match and out of nowhere, you know, things go your way. But this seems pretty much done. Keeps fighting, though.
Nice bridge from Tyler.
Oh, that's
nice
tight
on
there.
their half, yeah.
Ah, good effort there from Tyler. He did take a knee, which I know was inadvertent there from Kellen Mers, but Kellen's left knee did strike Tyler as he was on his back there, and he scrapped and tried to do everything he could, including a bridge, nearly getting out of that, but a very difficult position to be in. So when it's all said and done, Kellen Mers at 113 with the win and a pin, and it will give us our final score here, which is 45 Ironwood Ridge to Cienega 36. We had some great moments here of excitement.
Absolutely.
But my highlight here was Seth Least at 285, just because of all that was at stake here in terms of the outcome of the match.
And he showed up.
And the way he battled back in that match
Absolutely.
at heavyweights.
Absolutely. And it just speaks a lot about character, if you ask me.
Yes.
Right? This boy came out there, wrestled his heart off, won the match, right? And what's interesting is that, you know, we're still in the earlier part of the season. We still have a couple of months to go to state, right? And in 2 months, the wrestler can develop so much, right? So, and plus, you get those extra 2 pounds, right?
Yeah.
Those extra 2 pounds are big, if you ask me. So, yeah, amazing performance. All great around.
I'm half inclined to grab some of these seniors like Logan Mitchell and Bobby Tellez and Danny Mendez. I don't know.
I think that would be a good idea.
I'm half inclined to grab them over here. We can have them put the headset on, and you guys can just ask some questions of them in the interview post. I think they would appreciate that.
I'll go grab a couple of them.
Oh, okay. You grab them, and then when you bring them over here, I'll step out, and then you could interview them, David. That would be perfect.
You got it.
I'll do a quick recap of the score here while we've got a quick minute. So the match started at 120. It was Tyler Worth with a pin over Ethan De Silva, giving the Cats a 6-0 lead. Logan Mitchell, the senior, with a pin at 126 over Ashton Teo. It was 12-0 Cienega. And then the great Bobby Tejas at 132 with a pin over Tyler Rokop, and it was 18-0 Cats. Then it was Ironwood Ridge. Brent Ward at 138 with a pin over Jason Hill. And then at 145, it was Carlos Castanero over Jacob Brown with a pin. It was 24-6 Cats. Peter Harrington at 152 fell to Peyton Billings, who pinned him, and it was 24-12. And then Avery Parker at 160 for Ironwood Ridge over Gabe Levy with a very controversial decision, winning 7-6, and it was 24-12 at that point. Timmy Morris at 170 fell to Jose Beltran by pin, 24-15 Cienega. And then Anthony Contreras, Danny Mendez at 180. Timmy Morris at 170 lost to Jose Beltran by pin. At 182, Danny Mendez fell to Chant Sasser by pin. At 195, it was Luca Moily over Anthony Contreras, again by pin. You're seeing a trend here, a lot of pins here in this match tonight, a lot of excitement. At 220, Christopher Gomez pinned Jacob Least. And at 285, Seth Least pinned Wyatt Nelson from Ironwood Ridge. 106 was a forfeiture. Garrett Stalter at 106 from the Bobcats won that match. And then at 113, it was Kellen Mers by pin over Tyler Allison. My math may have been off here, but the one thing that we know for certain is that the Nighthawks, the victors here in this match on senior night at Cienega High School. So, David, why don't you take a seat? We can mic up both these boys, and we'll get them here for the interview post. Sorry, I'm a little sweaty. Yes, sir. Put this on, and then put this close to your mouth, like almost like an ice cream cone. Close to your mouth.
Perfect. You look good, Bobby. How's your day going so far?
Really good, thank you.
Good, good. So tell me a little about your matchup against the Nighthawks.
It seemed like he was playing keep away for a while, and I just felt stronger, knew I was quicker, and I knew I was going to get it done. It was just a matter of time.
You know, and why did it take you, quite a bit of time? Were you like testing him out? What was the goal, because none of you kind of like shot for a solid 30 seconds in the beginning of the match.
I think it was just because he spent a lot of time backing up and circling away. I don't think he was holding his ground and really wanted to engage, so I was just working from the outside and seeing what I could pick up from that.
And did you like think about the match before you came on the mat, right? Were you thinking about, hey, I'm gonna do this specific takedown, I'm gonna pin him this certain way, or do you just kind of just go with the flow?
I always go with the flow. I don't believe in game planning for matches. I know what I'm good at, and that's what I do.
Well, do you have any questions to ask our little champion over here?
I mean, it's pretty typical question, but I mean, how did you feel like mentally? Just what were you thinking when you were going into that match?
Senior year last year, you just got to rack up all the wins you can get.
Right. And how do you feel about state coming up?
I feel I should leave this school with my state title.
Well, best of luck to you, Bobby.
Thank you.
Hopefully you'll bring that goal to us.
Thank you.
See you soon.
Good mentality. It's good mentality.
That was Bobby, right? Yeah.
Good
nice little
mentality.
beast. Hopefully he'll bring us another gold medal. And now we have Logan Mitchell. How you doing, Logan?
Oh, I'm doing good. How you guys doing today?
Good, good, good. Are you excited about being a senior?
Oh yeah. It's gonna be a relief.
Is it when you graduate?
Yeah.
What's up, buddy? Get out of here. No, just kidding. You can be here. So, how did you feel about entering the match day against the Nighthawks?
Oh, today? I was pretty confident with it. I've been cutting quite a bit of weight, so to
what weight class are you in right now again?
126.
126, right? And you've been 126 the last couple of years, or
this year? Oh, last year I was 132. The year before that I was actually 138.
Wow.
This year I just decided to cut a lot to have a good season. Like
and
to put that, just like a reference to that. Yesterday morning I was 139.
139, and it says 120. So you telling me you cut 13 pounds in one day?
Yes, sir.
You know, and that is pretty average, right? I guess for the wrestlers. Now, when we're
For-
talking about guys my weight, right? When we have this boy right here, he's about under 140, cutting that
About
much weight.
140, yeah.
That's crazy, right? So, yeah, a little bit more about the matchup. When you wrestled the kid and you got the pin, right? Were you confident from the start that you're gonna get it?
I was
Right.
pretty confident. Like as soon as it started, kind of took a couple seconds to feel him out, and I was like, all right, I got this. And I
Yeah.
kind of worked my stuff, worked stuff that I do almost every match,
Uh-huh.
and it always works for me. I've gotten pretty good at those few things. So
Right. So you
I
kind
just hit the huge,
yeah, the
normal
usual
stuff.
move. And what is
and
that
then
move called again?
That would be the double leg takedown.
Double leg takedown.
Power double, just different variations of it. I've gotten pretty good at.
Right. Right. Wow, that's cool. Any other questions from our
From the man
my
himself,
colleague?
Ethan.
I'm just curious on like the toll. I mean, a lot of weight cutting. That's
Toll.
13 pounds. I
Oh,
mean, you probably
um,
have negative body fat percentage.
Yeah, I
mean,
know, right?
honestly.
Is that even possible? Like
Um,
LeBron James out here.
It was
just
pretty
a mini
bad.
version.
Like,
How'd you
all
do it?
day. So, all right. So yesterday didn't eat anything at all. After
Yeah, later.
Go on. No, it's a pretty
after
popular
that,
place.
practice last night, bundled up in all my sweats and stuff. Worked off about 6 pounds of that. Got down to 130 last night. So I tried to have a little bit of water last night, but I was just so thirsty. I ended up drinking a couple bottles. So,
Yeah,
so then I
that's
was
how it
recovering
goes.
from that today.
That's how it goes.
I woke up this morning, went to weights, still had sweats on. After weights, I checked my weight. I was 131. That's still 5 pounds over.
Ooh.
Ended up all throughout second period today, all throughout pause period. I was in the room running, had on all my sweats. Then got out of my fourth period early. More running, more sweats, and I just barely, about a half hour before our weigh-ins, I checked again. I was right at 126, and I was
wow.
That's good.
You know,
like, yeah.
and
Get
that's
outta
how
here.
that's how wrestlers do it, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Yes, sir.
There's a
we
kid
want to
in
wish you luck for the
Oh.
state tournament.
Well, I appreciate
Right.
it.
Thank you
Means
very
a lot
much.
coming from Mr. Handsome himself, and his little friend, Mr. Handsome, too.
Thank you very
All right,
much.
no problem, guys.
Well, it was a nice little event we had going on here. Thank you for having us. And oh, hold on, we have Mr. Miller back in here.
I'm going to do a quick sign-off here. So first of all, David Malcolmov, you did a great job as a color commentator.
Thank you
And
very
Ethan
much.
Schaub, your debut here on Bobcat TV, we appreciate you as well. Did a great job here as a color commentator. We truly appreciate it. I just want to salute the seniors very quickly. We just talked to Logan Mitchell. Very humble individual.
Very humble.
Not very outgoing, so I had to twist his arm a little bit to get him out here. Bobby Tejas, who was great as well at 132. Peter Harrington at 152. Dominic Johnson, who was terrific here tonight for us as a color commentator as well. We really appreciate Dominic being out here and helping us. Danny Mendez at 182 and Jacob Least at 220. I'm going to sign off for Bobcat TV. I'm going to dedicate this one to my dad. It would have been his birthday today, December 12th. He would have been 77 today, so I'm going to dedicate this to Bill Miller, my dad. Love you. Thanks for tuning in to the broadcast here tonight. We've got boys basketball tomorrow on Bobcat TV. We have boys soccer on Bobcat TV. Same cat time, same cat channel. I want to thank Josh Kramer for his direction here and his production, which is superb. So for all of us here from Bobcat TV, thank you so much and Merry Christmas.
Bye.
Christmas.